So on March 3rd, while everyone was getting their Nintendo Switches, I went to a religious retreat, and I went through an experience that it's kind of undescribable. And it was it, it's best I start from the beginning. So I wanted to be like more religious, and I thought that could help me go through the bad stuff that I've done, and and to prevent me from doing bad things, right? And I decided to go, and I was terrified when I went there, and my parents left, and I was just in the guy dormitory sitting there scared, and I just felt this like presence, I guess, tell me that it would be alright and I'm watching over you. So I just listened to it. And I thought it was just a voice in my head. I didn't even pay attention to it. I didn't even realize it was there. So after that, I left to the main building with one of the guys at the retreat center. I went, the religious retreat center, which is like the main building is just a little walk away from the male dormitories. So we stayed there, we prayed, and we sang, and then we went to bed. And it was just this weird presence that was around me the entire time that made it feel like a dream. But it wasn't. And later, like the next day, we all like went to the main building and we prayed and stuff, right? And they were doing a reenactment of what happened to Jesus on the cross, except it was blind. We were all blindfolded and we were just hearing sounds. We heard chains, we heard whipping, we heard yells, screams, and just the stuff that it says in the Bible happened. And they put up a cross and said, "If you love God, then come over here, bow down and pray," right? Something along those lines. And everyone was just quiet, and no one got up. But then this one girl came running up to the stand, or the altar, I mean, and she just cried and kneeled down, right? I heard the voice come back, and the voice told me this is the best friend I always prayed for. And at that moment, I realized that I was hearing a voice the entire time, but I kind of like doubted it. I was just thinking that I wasn't going to see this girl again, and I'm not going to get a chance to talk to her, right? So after we prayed, I believe we ate after that, and then we got a chance to go outside for a while. And everyone was doing activities while I was tired, and I just decided to sit in the bench. Like, I wanted to play, but I don't know why, but something just pulled me to sit there. And I was still doubting that voice in my head, and it wasn't like there anymore, right? But that girl was still in my mind. So this lady comes up, one of the ladies who was watching over the like kids in the retreat center. It was just me and like a bunch of kids who were like between 14 to like 19. And the lady walks up to me and says that she didn't want to help the adults because she's not really into the like outdoors kind of thing. And then we were just sitting there talking about religious stuff and our like backgrounds and stuff, right? And then she says, "My daughter," who I'm not gonna say her name, "my daughter has this and that," and like she was talking about her daughter for a while, and then her daughter just comes out of the building, and apparently she didn't want to play because she was tired or like had a headache or something. So the girl comes up to her mom, and then I realized that that girl was the same girl who kneeled at the cross. And I didn't believe it. I just thought it was another coincidence. So the lady, she left and talked to some guy who came late, who was one of the adults who was supposed to help us. And me and the girl were just sitting there awkwardly having this very cringy conversation, which I really don't want to remember right now. And eventually I left. It's because I thought all the guys were going to go, but apparently they all went to change to play soccer. So I ran back. She wasn't there. I was sad, and time passes. We all went to pray. I still felt that voice around me, and that because of that voice, I wasn't afraid of anything there, and I wasn't nervous anymore. I did whatever the voice told me, and everything ended up good. And later that night, like Saturday night around 11, we all prayed, we sang, and then we had a bit of like a party thing, right? And then a few girls got the microphone and started singing, and that girl was one of them, the girl who was apparently my best friend I always prayed for. And she started singing a song in Japanese. I just thought it was another big coincidence. Just another big coincidence that there so happens to be a girl who's apparently the best friend I always prayed for, and then she sings a Japanese song, and Japanese stuff is stuff I like, kind of. And later we all ate, all of us youths, we all went to eat, and I was sitting by myself, and she was coincidentally across from me. I am calling this fate and just what God wants right now. So apparently God wanted me to sit by myself and then wait for her to be right across from me, and I didn't even notice. She called me over, I sat near her, I asked her what was the song she sang. She said it was from an anime, and if I like animes, I said yes, and she just looked at me with the stare I would give anyone if they told me anything about an anime or a video game. And I immediately knew at that moment she was the best friend I always prayed for. Now, granted, you can't believe me, and I know. And I know I'm kind of like saying this without any feeling or emotion, but I recorded like a 24-minute video last time I tried to record this, and all the audio did not work for some reason. Just checking if it works. Okay, does it? Yes, it does. Alright. So, not all those like weird things, or those things that aren't usually logical, happened. After that, the reverse of logic, faith, happened. And the entire time that presence was with me, and it's still with me right now. And it's like, it's weird. It like tells me what it wants me to do, and I do it, and everything just ends up good. And for a while it was a feeling in my gut, now it's just like all over. And I just believe that this is God speaking to me or through me. And if you are from any Christian-based religion and you believe in God, then you should know that God has spoken to people and He has spoken through people. And my case isn't any different, because God speaks to a lot of people, whoever He feels He should speak to, or whoever He knows He should speak to. And not only was Him speaking to me a blessing, I was also given a couple other like personal blessings, which I don't really want to state right now, because I know that most of the people who would watch this video are people who know me personally in real life, or they're just my subscribers who are just curious on what my newest video is. But to be honest with you, I do believe that I have experienced a miracle from God, and that I'm kind of an instrument to Him, I guess. So the point of this video basically is that I want to be more faithful to my religion, and the stuff I upload will have kind of more good and less of the bad in some sense, if you understand what I mean. I mean, like, my channel will have less stuff that is like offensive towards people and my faith and other people's faith as well, and also try to be more I guess, more of the things that Christian-based religions should be, like humble, I guess, or kind, forgiving, and just just trusting, I guess, and calm. So I'm just officially naming my channel Child Friendly for now on, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching.